That guy is a good guy. When he started, Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives, I was like, man, one day I'd love to be on that show.
The McDowell, a true rib sandwich. Dry rub it up on the St. Louis rib. And how long's it gonna go down the smoker?
3.5, 4 hours. Rack of ribs.
A little turn and a little slide.
You can work here, brother. Pickles and onions.
And that's all she wrote. That's gangster.
Welcome, guys. We're here today at Sunset Valley at the new SLAB location. I have co-owners Raf and Mark here. We're going to kind of learn about the background of the company and about this brand new location that's opening up on Friday, right?
Friday.
Yeah.
Two more days.
2 more days. And I mean, it's a beautiful location of a lot of outdoor seating, Nomadic beer. They'll be here at the adjacent building and have some of their awesome craft beer. So welcome, guys. I appreciate you guys having time to sit down.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us, man.
So we're
excuse the mess.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think the boxes and ladders and setup is all still. I know firsthand that happens until the hour before the doors unlock. So.
All right. It's behind the scenes.
I mean, I know that some of the story behind you guys and how it all started, but I mean, who wants to kind of dive into the
history? So I started this back in 2006. Just a hobby turned into now business. And something that the first thing that I bought when I got a house in 2001 is a grill. So I'm self-taught. I learned everything. I always joke out of a book and dial-up internet. Kind of date me there, how old I am. But, the cool thing about learning like that was that I learned the different styles of barbecue, not just Texas style, even though I think Texas style is still the best. But I learned Carolina, Memphis, Kansas City, all the different styles. And, just wanted to kind of showcase that to other people too, and to say, hey, Texas is great, but hey, there's these other different flavors. And I'm also a sucker for a great deli sandwich. And so I was like, man, how can I fuse all these different barbecue flavors in between two buns? But then to take it a step further, I also grew up with hip hop, even though, again, I grew up in Texas, but I'd be lying to you if I told you that. Well, now I can't say that joking. Where I used to not own a cowboy hat or boots, but now I do. I grew up with Biggie, Tupac, and all those guys, and that's what I grew up with. And so, when I started the business, I wanted to be genuine to who I was, and so that music played a big part of who I was, and so I wanted to showcase that, and especially hip hop. And so here we are. We got a hip hop barbecue place in Texas, which, is crazy, but there were other people that kind of felt the same way. And so here we are opening up 4th location. So it's all good.
It's awesome. So how did you guys, where was the meetup of you guys in the history of everything?
So we both go to the same church, and I was going on my very first snowboarding trip to Colorado. I'd never even seen snow before. And so we get up to the mountains, and Mark was like, hey, man, it looks like you're struggling a little bit. He's like, here, let me give you some pointers. Turns out Mark used to be a ski instructor. But, we just became friends through that trip. And we got back to Austin, and he was like, hey, man, I got this concept, that I'm working on. And so it was cool. I love the idea of infusing hip hop into, what he was doing with the barbecue. The food was on point. The food was solid, but like for me, what sold it was the hip hop aspect. Same thing, grew up with hip hop, and, and him and I we just clicked. And so, I think partnerships, can be challenging, but when you find a partner that complements, I feel like we've got a really good working relationship where, we each kind of stay in our lane, but then we're both creatives. And so, that's the fun part of it, is when we get to sit down and collaborate on just new creative ideas. That's when the magic happens.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're both artists. I mean, I'll handle food, but you know, each of the locations that we have. I mean, Raf has pretty much designed them all, you know. And I remember the first location that we had, you know, off of 183 in Burnett, you know, we were, I think, interviewing some designers, and then Ralph looked at me. He's like, "Man," after the second or third one, he's like, "Man, I really think we can do this." I was like, "Do what?" He was like, "Design this thing." I was like, "Bro," I was like, "I don't know anything about designing." He's like, "Man, I think I can do this." And I was like, "Man, no way, dude. This is gonna look all, you know, thrown together." I was
Good.
like, "Man, yeah." I was like, "I don't know about this." But man, to my surprise, I mean, it came out great, and that's all kudos to Raf. You know, in each location, he's got a great eye for what, you know, what we want to convey and how we want to showcase this crazy fusion of hip hop and barbecue. I mean, it works, and every location just has its own unique, you know, feel and flavor, and you know that's all Raf, you know, and his eye, and he puts the, you know, we also use local graffiti artists, you know, and again, it's just, it all works, man. It looks great, and I'm happy to say that, yeah, we did it, you know, Raf did it, you know,
Yeah.
we did it in house, so.
Yeah, I know I see a lot of like bumper stickers and stuff, so I think the brand is definitely grown over the years.
Yeah.
So I mean, so if you guys started off obviously very small,
Sure.
did you guys build the brand to grow, or did that come like years later?
I mean, I always thought of this as a concept,
Yeah.
you know, and I use that term. I don't want people to think like we're like this big chain or anything like that. It was a concept that I wanted to be able to go outside of just Austin, you know, and I wanted it to grow. And I was always very big also, you know, on the look and feel. I wanted it to look and feel professional, or I mean, I don't know if that's the right word, but because back when I started, you know, trailers were already, you know, people were still reluctant to go eat at a trailer. You know, I think back then they were called roach coaches, you know, and so it was trying to get people to feel like, hey, man, you know, it's okay to eat at a trailer, you know, back then. And so I always wanted to make sure that the logos were looked good and the marketing looked good, so that people just felt more and more comfortable. So when I started at the University of Texas, which that's, you know, that was in '08, I actually had students, marketing students, do a lot of the marketing for me, and I actually had one that I partnered up with. He pretty much, now he actually works for an agency, but he did a lot of the marketing for me back then. But it just made everyone just feel more comfortable. Like, okay, this is a brand that I feel like I recognize. But a lot of it was just because it was well done. You know, it wasn't just me drawing a menu board with my chicken scratch handwriting. It was me having these students create the menu boards for me. And so branding was very big for me because I wanted to be able to sell shirts, hats, you know, I wanted it to live outside of the four walls, you know, and so it's always been a big part. And so now as we rebranded, you know, from Sugar Shack Barbecue back in the day to Slab, you know, it just all was even better because, you know, for those of you who don't know what SLAB stands for, it's actually not for slab of meat, but it's an acronym for slow, low, and banging. And it just fit even more the brand, right? And so I just knew, and when we got together with Raf, and we just knew that, man, this is a brand that could be a lifestyle brand, right? Is that people could wear outside of not just a restaurant, but be happy to wear outside just in public, right? And we've brought the brand to life, and that people, you know, they're happy to wear our clothing, you know, and our merch and using the bumper stickers and all that. So
So this is going to be y'all's fourth location.
Yep.
I know you recently this year opened up in Westgate Lanes.
Yep.
I don't know if there's any sort of awards for best smelling bowling alley out there, but I would vote for that. Tell me a little bit about how that opportunity, where'd that kind of come from?
Sure. So our lease at our previous location, we were looking at new opportunities, and I had a friend who called me up, and they run the food truck that's in the parking lot over at Westgate. So it's a coffee trailer, Radix.
Yep.
And so he said, you know, I think if you guys are interested, we'd love to have you guys over here, and maybe we could work together. So we started making breakfast tacos for them, which we had already started that relationship before we moved over there. And so that's how the opportunity came up. And so we had no idea how busy it would be. And we feel extremely blessed. You know, I'd like to take credit and say, you know, we planned it all out, and this was a planned move, but honestly, it was just an opportunity that came up, and it was worth us trying. And we look like the smart guys, but honestly, it was a blessing.
Yeah.
With this project, it was a property purchase, and so there was a lot more involved. And we knew that this was going to take a little bit more time with the people that were buying the property. And sure enough, that's how it played out. So we were able to move into Westgate pretty quickly, and get that operation going. And it's only maybe 2 miles away, and so it seemed like, well, it's the same market, but we feel that it's a completely different vibe, with all the outdoor space here, with having Nomadic Outpost, that's going to be their the brand for this location, because Nomadic Beer Works is where they'll still brew all their beer there, but this location will have full bar, so they'll have a cocktail menu as well. But really the vibe that we're trying to create here is a backyard barbecue.
Yeah.
So we're really excited about this new space.
I mean, I don't know what the traffic count is on Brody, but man, I mean, you guys have, I mean, I think it's a great location, and it fits, in my opinion, of living in South Austin for forever, is that this is very South Austin feel. I mean, I'm sure that you guys could put this concept in North Austin, Cedar Park, or Round Rock, and it would fit in as well. But I think as far as kind of old school South Austin guy, that this is perfect. And I mean, I feel like Sunset Valley is a great location for you guys. So